This podcast provides a platform that will share many different points of views that should empower you, uplift you, make you want to go out and do right. When you hear the term still a man, say, yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Let's go.
What's up, people? Welcome to another episode of the Still a Man podcast. Well, 2 days ago, we celebrated Mother's Day. Hope everybody took out time to show a bit of reverence, just celebrate their moms and the women and their family as well as their community.
Has joined the meeting.
All right. Tonight's discussion, we are going to be talking about matriarchs. Sean, can you give us the definition of matriarch?
A woman who rules or dominates a family group or state, specifically a mother who is head and ruler of her family and descendants.
Great. Open notes. All right. That being said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna pull these notes up. Well, before we even do that, let's go around real quick and see how people honored their mothers or the women in their community and families. Let's start with Patsy.
Since my mother passed away, I just kind of keep her in my heart, and thank God she has raised me the way she did, and being a single parent and pretty much show me like how to be a woman and a strong woman, because I think back to how she was, and no nonsense kind of woman when it came down to discipline, and she expected us to do stuff right and everything like that. So I just kind of like take in a lot, think about all the positive stuff that she did, and I barely remember any of the like arguments or whatever. That's not even existent in my memories. I remember a lot of the good stuff and how she loved us and cared for us and made sure we had what we needed, and went to school, went to some camp, and kept us out of trouble,
Okay.
That's how I honor my mother.
Duchess, what about you? What did you do to honor your mother on Sunday?
Yes, I do honor. I talk to her. I wish her happy Mother's Day. I'm also a mother too, so it's about me as well.
Mm-hmm. And what did they do to celebrate you?
Well, one had to work, so I'm getting a makeup day tomorrow, and I went out to dinner to a nice steakhouse and enjoyed myself. Dressed up and ate steak, one of my favorite things.
Yes.
Had a lovely day.
So you celebrated yourself. You went solo. That's all right. It's okay.
That's no, I didn't celebrate. I was taken out to dinner. I didn't celebrate myself. I
Okay,
didn't spend a dime.
that's what I
I
was trying
was
to be clear
celebrated.
about. So all
No,
right.
I was celebrated.
Okay.
So my husband took me out to dinner.
Do I still sound underwater, yo?
No.
Oh,
Go ahead, Key.
No, I'm saying my husband took me out to dinner and we had a lovely evening. So, and my son had to work, so we are making it up tomorrow. So I'll have another lovely day. So,
yes.
What's up? What's up? What about you, Tanya? How did you celebrate?
oh, I'm sorry, and I'm going to go back. And my sister and I are taking our mother out this week.
Okay. What about you, Tanya? How did you celebrate Mother's Day? And was you celebrated and did you celebrate the women around you?
Um, I'm gonna say yes. I celebrated the women around me by some I sent texts, some I sent flowers. I spent Saturday with my daughter for a Mother's Day brunch dinner type of celebration that my girlfriend's kids put together. Trina's girls, two of her girls put together, and it was beautiful, beautifully put together. We had a really nice time. Mother's Day, I relaxed all day. Yeah, so it was a beautiful, beautiful Mother's Day. And yes, I got celebrated. I got Mother's Day wishes from my kids who couldn't be here. I spent a Mother's Day outing with my daughter. Some sent me gifts, gift cards. I still got one coming tomorrow. So yeah.
That's what's up. That's us. Get your flowers. All right, gentlemen. How did you celebrate the women in your life? Let's start with Robert. How did you celebrate the women in your life?
Well, let's start off me myself, unselfishly. It was a day of reflection. Excuse my dog. I had to redevelop my coping skills. I sent out text messages to the most important women in my life. Happy Mother's Day. I also said it to my family on this panel. I called moms on the phone. And I didn't get too much of a conversation out of it because she was full with guests in her hospital room. But I celebrated on reflecting on how I have to develop controlling my anger and just remember love, love.
Okay. What about you, Sean?
Bert has joined the meeting.
Oh, I celebrated my mom and my baby sister. My father and I, we pitched in and he went and brought them lobster. I think this is one of the most expensive Mother's Days ever for me. Uh, yeah, 7 lobsters, man. And yeah, that's what I did for my mom and my baby sister. And as far as my other sisters, because they don't live here in the state, I've actually spoke with them on the phone, wished them well, and actually sent cards with funds in for my two daughters, my two older daughters.
And Bird, what about you? How did you celebrate the women in your family or community or circle?
I don't really have anybody to celebrate. A mother, grandmother, stepmother. I don't think it was a celebrate for me. It was more like a memorial, to be honest. Pretty sad day. But usual for me because I haven't had that for probably about a good 10 years or more.
iPhone has joined the meeting.
Alan, they have point.
Okay. All right. Itzema, welcome. So let's bring you right into the discussion. how did you honor your mother on Mother's Day, and how was you celebrated?
How do I honor my mother? I brought her some flowers, say Happy Mother's Day, but I honor her every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day is my Mother's Day. You know what I'm saying? Um, as far as me, we celebrated. We went out. We ate. Me and my kids. We watched the movie afterwards, and yeah, we had a nice time.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm glad that you ladies received your flowers. Okay, what did I do? So I started the day by acknowledging the women on this panel, and of course, my babies, both my daughters are now mothers, so this was their first Mother's Day. So I sent them flowers and acknowledged them. Well, actually, I attempted to send them flowers, both of them, because one of my baby, my youngest one, was like, Dad, I really don't need flowers because flowers just die after a couple of days, so save your money. But because I wanted to get her flowers, because I want them to know the significance of being acknowledged, and that's the way I can do it, because I wasn't present. Because they're mothers, they have their own plans and they have men in their life, and I wanted to be the first to acknowledge them, and I did so in that way. And then they went out with their mates and their babies. And I even called my children's mother, and well, actually I text her Happy Mother's Day, and then uh I went to go see my mother. You know, that's the queen mother. So she's like, she's battling right now. She's dealing with her ailment. So she was hospitalized. So it, it was it was kind of surreal, like bittersweet. It wasn't everything that it normally is, that date, but try to make the best of it. And I didn't want to be a Debbie Downer in any sense of the word. So, I just grinned and bear it. I went up there, gave my support and stuff like that. And then later on, they had like a barbecue for the other ladies in our family. And I can't say that I was really in a celebratory mood because all that was going on with my mother's. But so I was on like doggy watch. I was like doggy daycare. I sat up in the house and watched the two dogs, and well, more likely they watched me. But that's what I did. But I digress. All right, let me try to paint you guys this picture. So what if I told you, since the beginning of time, that women have been essential to mankind? Since the creation of mankind, women have been leaders. This is recorded in the Bible, so don't take my word for it. You can go look it up. But that's a little fun fact. Now let's get into this first question. And what I want you guys to do tonight, I want you to listen to the question and answer the question that's being presented. And please do not present no second question before answering this question. Let everybody answer the question. And if you can't wait to give a rebuttal or refute, put it in the chat. And normally I wait until the middle of the show, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. This show is sponsored by Emporium Plus. We have shirts in Emporium, matriarchplus.org that celebrates women, uplifts them. And we have some that say, I am woman, hear me roar. There is no fury like, hell has no fury like a woman scorned. We have all hail the queen. All must bow down in the presence of the queen. We also have one that states, I am such a effing lady. And the latest one is, we must protect the queen at all costs because the kingdom can't afford to suffer a loss. Again, we must protect the queen at all costs because the kingdom can't afford to suffer such a loss. And Robbie, again, can you tell people how to access these t-shirts and other apparel, where they can find it? What can they do to get these things?
To all my mothers, I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day once again. You will find all fashions and all our brands at emporiumplush.org. Envy Forever, Adapter Parish, S.A.M, Still a Man, SOS Support Our Sisters, and Adapter Parish Ladies First. I also want to say to you women, when a woman educates herself, the whole family learns. You guys that's been supporting us, subscribed already. Those who haven't, please subscribe to our platform, Still a Man. You will find something on that platform you will like. Hit the like button. Tell a friend. Thank you.
All right, well done, well done. Well, good job, good job. All right, so let me just go ahead and say this because, this might be a sensitive show, so anybody if this is too much, feel free to log out at any time. If you plan on just listening, you can do so too. Just gonna ask everybody be sensitive, be empathetic, let people speak their hearts, or speak from their hearts, speak all what's on their mind. And just in doing so, let's be respectful of everybody on the panel. But I will say this, because based upon, what me and my family is dealing with, and it's like, I have to tell you this, I'm every day, I'm becoming more disappointed with mankind. And I'm particularly with my brethren. And I'm not talking about all the men as a whole. I'm talking about all you men out there that's doing wrong to women. I'm at the point, if you disrespecting a woman in any way, be it your mother, be it your child's mother, be it your sister, be it your any female in your circle, in your community, I can't respect that. So therefore I can't respect you. So I'm saying if you have the option of making a change, do so. Do so before it's too late. Apologize to these women and try to right the wrongs that you are doing, because you owe it to them, because in a lot of situations, the hurt that you put upon these women is reflected on your children. Just remember that, because these are the same women that have to care for your children. When you mess them up, some of them, I'm gonna be fair to the men. Some of these women are broken before we meet them. So we have to take that into consideration again. So what I'm basically saying is, just don't make a situation worse than what it has to be. If she is that far gone and she's broken and she's just trying to bring destruction to your life, leave her alone. Get away from her, because it's better that you do that. And if you can, if she's not in her right mind, you go through the legal channels, take your kid. It's best for her and it's best for your kid. But sometimes they just need a break from everything and everybody so that they can recover. Well, that is my public announcement, and now we're gonna get to our show. All right. Ladies, turn your mics on. Gentlemen, hold tight. There's a method to my madness. We're going to go to the ladies first, and then we're going to go to gentlemen. Patsy, you're up first. Do women have the qualifications to be good leaders?
God gave us all a form of leadership. So, in God's eyes, we are qualified to lead. We lead with the ones that have a better half that's a strong man support system. We help lead with him. We lead our children and peers in the right direction, you know. So yeah, we are born leaders. We are created to lead. By God to be able to lead in the right way, and we have circumstances that God created us to lead into. So men, not to say men aren't leaders. I'm just saying we are born to be leaders also.
Well said, well said. All right, Tanya, what do you say?
I say yes. We could be good leaders. We're kind, we empathetic, we have wisdom, we are nurturing, and we're strong. I mean, God placed us, he gave us the opportunity to bear children. That's part of who we are, is to build, we're life givers. So to be a life giver, you have the potential to be a good leader. You just have to tap into those qualities that are good, that are required to be a good leader.
Okay. Well said, well said. All right, we are going to go to Itzema next. Itzema, do women have the qualifications to be a good leader?
We certainly do. We can lead a few things, because we can lead, women, certain women, the younger women generation. It's a few things, yes, that we can lead.
Okay. Duchess, same question. Do women have the qualifications to be good leaders?
Absolutely. We lead, a lot of women lead their homes. A lot of women lead in business, and most educators are female. So yes, we are perfectly capable of being leaders.
Gentlemen, turn your mics on. All right, ladies, mute your phone. Gentlemen, turn your mics on. We are going to go to Bird first. Bird, do women have the qualifications to be good leaders?
Absolutely. I now at this gentle age that I am, I understand a lot more that women have been leading forever, since the beginning of time, since the first child has come out of their body. Kiana said, I mean, real women, we just got to say this, real women run this house. They let us think we running shit. That's the real woman. Will let you think you running it, but the real man knows the wife is running or the woman is running this home, making meals for families, feeding kids. Most half these men walk out on children. They've been leading. They are the true leaders, and I think our ego makes us want to be recognized as the leader, but the real man knows who the true leader is.
Okay. I like this honesty. I like this honesty.
Now, if
Gregory?
you asked me this 20 years ago, I would have told you ain't running nothing, can't run this, don't run that. Maybe 30 years, not 20. I mean, again, that's ignorance, that's uneducational, or didn't really see it a certain way. I pay the bills, my rules, my way, but at the end of the day, if something ain't gonna happen and she says it ain't gonna happen, it ain't gonna happen. Or you ain't gonna eat, you ain't gonna be right at home. So I don't know.
Okay. Gregory, what do you say? Do women have the qualifications to be good leaders?
Hell yeah. The only reason why one would think not is because we've been civilized in the western side of that, in the western hemisphere. So we got that going on in a European philosophy. When we was in Egypt or Tartaria, or wherever you want to call us, Kemet, it was women that were the leader. They led the men. You know what I mean? So it's a double team process, but women have always been like the head of the thoughts. Even if you think about it logically, they put a lot into the house that you live in, the children that you have. So
Yeah.
they're leading in a whole bunch of different areas, anyways.
Okay. Sean, what do you say?
Absolutely. Women have been leading since the beginning of time. Um, I mean, as we can go as far back as if we look at history in itself, when the world was at war, while the men were off at war, the women were home holding everything down and together until the men came back.
Huh? All right, Robert, let's get your perspective. Do women possess the qualifications to be good leaders?
For me, all day long, they are recognized as the roots of their community. That's in my eyes. Now, definitely, they are going to carry on their vision of the well being of the future generations.
Okay. All right, ladies, turn your mics on. Gentlemen, mute your mics. All right. Here's the question. Question number 2. According to research, children believe that a mother's touch can heal any illness and mend any wound. But does this mindset, this level of trust, diminish for the matriarch as the child becomes of age once they mature into an adult? So again, according to research, children believe that a mother's touch can heal any illness and mend all wounds. But does this level of trust diminish once the child matures into an adult? Patsy, what do you say?
Um, I don't think it diminishes. But it just the dialogue changes, not so much the healing, because sometimes just having a conversation with your mom or mother figure um can go a long ways. It's you could be confident that the women that you trust that is your biological or mother figures that are non-biological their words can go a long way in healing your spirit, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. All right, let's go to Itzma next. Itzma, what do you say?
I think if that saying is true, and
Yeah.
if it is,
I'm sorry.
I think every child thinks that the mother has the touch, and I think it depends how you go with your child. You know what I mean? Like as far as trust with that, if you're gonna be always 100% with your child, and you don't tell little fibs here and there to your child, then your child won't have trust issues with you. If your child feels protected all the time around you, that's another thing. Your child should feel like ain't nobody gonna touch the kid, when they're around you. You get what I'm saying? Like they say they should always feel safe with their parents around. So that's a main. I think that's the main thing as far as trust, like a child trusting their parent. You know what I'm saying? The love and the safety the parent provides for that child.
Okay, well said. Duchess, what's your perspective?
I think it can still be, I mean, it may diminish over time depending on the child and the mother's relationship. But I still think that for a lot more than most, I mean, than not, that like Tanya said, even just speaking to, or maybe that was Patsy, just speaking to your mother or mother figure can be healing when you are out of sorts in life, not just like physical healing, but maybe like mental healing or even spiritual healing. So I believe that that doesn't diminish, but it can, depending on the relationship between the child and
Yep.
Okay. Tanya, we're gonna go to you
Repeat.
next.
Repeat the question for me, please, Dave.
Okay. According to research, children believe that a mother's touch can heal any illness and mend all wounds. But does that level of trust diminish once the child matures into an adult?
I don't think that it diminishes. I think that it can get sidetracked. And what I mean by that is that you can give them the love, all the love and trust and listen. But when the outside influences come into play, when they get an advice from other people, from other entities, then they start to question what you're telling them and what you're the love and support that you're giving them. It can diminish that way when other entities come into play, or they start to think because you said as they get to be adults, right?
Yes.
When they start to think that they know more than you know,
Hmm.
and the pride and the pride starts to kick in. So it could diminish that way.
Okay. Patsy, did you get a chance to answer?
Yes,
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, we're gonna come to you now. Let's go to Robert first. Let me read you the question. According to research, children believe that a mother's touch can
Kay
heal
has joined the meeting.
any illness and all. Basically, let me read that to you one more time. According to research, children believe that a mother's touch can heal any illness and mend all wounds. But does that level of trust diminish as the child becomes an adult?
Yeah, as you was young, growing up, you believed in all of what your mother can do for you. She was that great protector, provider. She was the one that gave you affection when you needed it the most, wiped your nose and all of that, and wiped the booty. But there's no diminishing to me. I think it becomes selective usage. They choose to use what you installed in them for their mental well-being, physical emotions, and all when they need to, when it all sometime hits the shitter. So don't ever think that your child don't remember all your love you poured into them, your protecting them, you being there for their emotions when it's all over the place, providing the food, the shelter, everything. They remember that. What they do is go out into the real world and entwine with other people's family values or what their children learned outside their home too. And they start to try other things and it's like they're going in a different direction. So sometimes they get abused by men or just their friends taking advantage of. And you be wondering why these people ain't doing what I said. Sometimes they have to they have to learn from their own examples.
Okay, well said, well said, well said.
Kay has joined the meeting.
All right, Gregory, let's get your perspective.
I want to say there's this thing called chi, right? So your mother is the closest thing between you and God because she brought you in the world through God's power. So when you talk about healing somebody, it would make sense that your mother would be able to actually heal and fix things that's going on in your life before people remove themselves from that source and want to become their own source. Or because I grew up in the era with a lot of girls, they were fighting their mothers and stuff, all types of craziness. So they they couldn't be going back to source to get healing from them. You get what I'm saying? So I believe chi is a real thing. If you look it up, you might actually see some Chinese people over there healing people with their hands.
Okay. Bert, what's your perspective?
Um, I believe as a child and adolescence, you definitely became dependent on those healing, nurturing hands to band-aid your boo-boo and give you a hug when you're sad. And that's the nurturing component that I think every boy can relate to until they do become a man. I don't believe it diminishes, it just elevates. You might seek that from a girlfriend or from a wife. You give up your family to marry, so you got to let that go. That nurturing was supposed to be from your partner now. But there's some mama's boys out here that still need that hug now. There's some grown men that yearn for a hug. You get what I'm saying? So we can revert back to adolescence and want that, but then be reminded you're in adulthood, and I think we still need a hug. I think we're still searching for a hug.
Well said, well said.
I need a hug.
Uncle T needs the link too, by the way. Sorry.
Again, somebody go ahead and forward Timmy the link. I we're gonna work on getting Bird a hug, but in the meantime, we gonna go on. Sean, it's on you. Let's get your perspective.
I believe, yes, that when we're children, our mothers are the world. There's nothing that they can and cannot do that doesn't meet our approval. As we get older, um, we start coming into our own and start trying to figure out life for ourselves. Now we still love our mothers. We still want our mothers, approval on certain things, this, that, and the other, but it's not like an overall need for her approval or, nurturing hand at all times because we're now coming into our own. But, I agree with the studies to the question that you posed.
Let me answer this too. So for me, like Bird said, especially as a child, children, look up to their mother. My mama was a superhero to me. That was Wonder Woman, the Nubian version of Wonder Woman, but a little shorter in stature. But where it came to attitude and power and the might, oh yeah, she was right up there with you because just ask her. She was bigger than what she's bigger than what she believes her height shows, put it that way. Um Healing hands, yeah, healing hands, but they can also become hands of destruction too, because they said they had the ability to heal any illness, and that is even the illness where you don't feel like you lost your mind. They might slap you back into reality. So those are still healing hands. Like I said, I know. I used to have migraines. That's how hard she hit. um, so yeah, and mending wounds. Oh yes, broken hearts. Um, Even when your mama too can give you your first heartache too. So they be the ones to administer to that as well. And I can honestly say my dad would usher you or point you in the direction of our mother when it came time to get you back in good health. He would say, go in there and see your mama. And you know what? It's good because I think that's
Timmy has joined the meeting.
it's a lost talent. It's not something that a lot of these young mothers, future matriarchs, possess. But let's be clear about this too, ladies. Um, Matriarchs are not just the old. Sometimes it's because some of these young ladies are wiser, or wise as their elders. So according to that formal definition that Sean gave earlier, yeah, a lot of the young girls, they fit that description. All right, Timmy, welcome. We're on question number 2. I believe it is, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit you with it. According to research, children believe that their mothers, yeah, hold on, bear with me, people. According to research, children believe that their mothers can heal any illness and mend all wounds. But does that diminish as the child becomes an adult? What do you say, Timmy?
No. It is it's true that the mom did take care of the household, so she spent more time with the kids. So of course she was left with the duties of taking care when sick, and not only the kids but the father as well.
Huh? All right, ladies, we're gonna go to question number 3. Um, y'all just ride this out with me. I'm a bit in my feelings tonight. It's a little touchy subject, but the show must go on. All right, question number 3. Is there anything in life that can replace a mother's love or sever the bond that she has with her child? Let's get the ladies' perspectives first. Tanya, what do you say?
If there's anything in life, say that one more time.
Is there anything in life that can replace a mother's love or sever the bond between a mother and her child?
The only thing that can replace a mother's love is the love of Christ. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And nothing can sever the bond. I don't care how mad you get at me or get at me. I'm still gonna love you as my child. I'm still gonna pray for you. So I'm gonna say no, not for me.
All right. Patsy?
Death can't even sever the bond that you have with your mother, since I've experienced the death of my mother, but the bond that I had with her is still there to this day. Because I knew when she was living how much she loved me, and it was evident with the conversation that me and her had about someone that we knew had passed away, and she sat me down to have a conversation about that, and I ended up in tears because I knew how deep her love went for me to explain the situation to why this person was struggling with what they were struggling that led them to their demise. So that love, that bond will never diminish no matter what. Even if they pass away, you're still going to have all those fond memories, all that love that she poured into you. That kind of bond that you have with your mom will never ever ever die. It will give you strength as you're going through different periods of grieving. It you that love is always going to be there, no matter what.
Amen.
All right, well said. Itama, same question.
Yeah, no. So I agree with Tanya, because Christ has, and he fulfills any void in anybody's life. It doesn't matter what void, but yeah, a mom is not replaceable. You know what I'm saying? Like her love. Um, Yeah, it's a deep. It's very deep. It's very touching. But again, the only one that could fill that void is God.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Duchess?
Yeah, I think it depends on the parent child relationship because there are some mothers who are just mothers in name, they're not mothers in deed. So I believe mother child bonds can be broken. Um, do I think that something can replace that? I mean, if you never met a mother and you had a stepmother, you would have a bond, you would have a deep loving relationship with that person. So I don't, I mean, I think it can be replaced, and I believe it can be broken depending on the people and the dynamics of a family.
Bird, how about you?
I don't know, man. There could be circumstances that could diminish that bond, or it could just not be a good relationship, and you can grow to detest your parent. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence, to be honest. You know, I got my own trauma.
Yeah, but we talking about mamas.
Yes.
And say one more thing.
Okay. Gregory?
I agree with Bird and Kiana, and it's really a love factor. If you grew up and you had love for the people that had love for you, then you're not probably going to sever any ties. But a person that probably grew up with a mother that really didn't want them or something, they're gonna sever ties. It's circumstantial, like B said.
Robert, what do you say?
I'm gonna say, me personally speaking, nothing's gonna come between me and my mom's bond. Um, for another lady, if something was to happen to my mother, or even now while she's still alive, we can experience our own memories and build a bond, but you're never gonna equal out to that lady's bond. But we'll have our own.
Timmy, what do you say?
I don't get in all that because it don't make sense. It don't make sense to me to you to even give that type of stuff a thought because it's just surveys to me. It's just a survey. So everybody on here know that their mother's not replaceable. So for me, it's just rhetoric. It's just surveys that don't make no sense because uh, uh, I can't see nobody even trying to step. Like Robbie said, just, you can't walk in those person's shoes. You can only walk in your own footsteps and make your memory, not trying to make memories off of somebody else's.
Okay. Sean, is there anything in life that can replace a mother's love or sever the bond that she has with her child?
I don't think there's anything that could ever replace a mother's love, and um, and the reason I said I heard a lot of people say that God's love can replace a mother's love. And if I was to push back on that a little bit, a mother's love is a reflection of God's love. So the love that a mother shows towards a child is what Christ already has for us. So it replacing it, I don't think it can be replaced because the mother's love is already living up to what God's love for you already is. If that makes any sense to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, um, can a bond between a mother and a child be broken? It could be damaged. And the only way that it can be broken and stay broke is if the parties never come together again to try to fix what was there. But the love and the yearning and the bond that a mother has for that child, that'll never go anywhere, no matter how much she may think that she can't stand or like that child, because that
Um,
child is a part of her, regardless to how he or she turns out and has acted towards them. Because you'll always, the reason why the bond will stay intact, because you'll always wonder, even if it's like you never come together and speak again, you'll always have that connection, because you'll always wonder, how did it get this way? Why did it get this way? So as long as you're thinking about said thing, there is a connection still there.
Okay, I'm gonna answer this one. Nope, no replacing. Um, you know, your mother is the first one to show you love. She carried you for 9 months. And I'm agree with Sean. That is a reflection of God's love. So he thought enough of the world to give that man a woman, and then in turn, allow that woman to carry yet another extension of him and the baby. So I feel like the mother's love should be unconditional. So now, should there's not nothing that can replace that. Because even a child that has lost that due to death, or that child, severing the ties that bind them to the parent, like Sean said, that child is always yearning for what may have been. Even the child that does not know their parents, the child that was given up for adoption and stuff like that, that child is always yearning for that mother's love. They want to be a part of that mother's life and stuff like that. So if that bond is broken, that is due to selfishness, people's unwillingness to right or wrong, mend wounds and stuff like that. So I believe that's the only way that it can be. And that is going to be on all the participants, not just on the mother, it's on the child too, because you bear some responsibility that too. Love requires nurturing. Again, it's a flower. You have to continue to water it. That's what I have to say about it. All right, let's go to question number 4. Excuse me, guys, I have my allergies. Question number 4. Does a woman lose value as she ages? As she gets older, does a woman lose value? You know what, ladies, please hold tight. I'm gonna go to the men first for this one. Sean, what do you say?
Absolutely not. Her value will always be what it started out to be, as long as she carries herself in a manner that we believe a lady should carry themselves. As long as she walks in her own right, her value will never diminish, no matter what somebody else thinks about her.
Like that. I like that. Timmy, what do you say?
Well, you know that old saying, the the older the wine, the better it tastes. So and then you really they was having a conversation about the the women up there like actors and stuff. And there's a lot of them that's up there in age, like Angela Bassett. She's 70 years old, and look how she looks. She looked better than some of these young chicks out here. Pam Grier, Holly Berry. So, you know, it's all about how you you keep your body in shape and food you eat, and you don't have no stress and stuff like that. You make time to relieve those stress things that's stressing you and stuff like that. So I think that you get older and wiser, and you see things differently.
Huh? I like that. All right. Does a woman lose value as she ages?
Well, I'm sorry, ladies, but absolutely, you lose value. Just like you get in a car, you buy $100,000 car. The minute you drive that car off that lot, that car has depreciated in value. So I believe, yes, women definitely lose value. 4 and 5 babies, 4 and 5 different guys. I mean, we all got a past, but I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't even want to have nobody curse me out.
The world that we live in, they make you feel like the older you get, the more useless you are. If I'm making sense of what I'm saying to you, because they want the young, fresh person. They want you to be coming right out of high school or on goddamn 18 or something to go on, instead of being a seasoned person that probably knows more than the young person,
And
which is
just
the
be damaged,
actual truth.
overall damage.
But they just want they it's the world that we live in. We're westernized.
Robert?
I was gonna agree with Bird, and I was gonna agree with Gregory, but then I said to myself, mm, "What is the true quality of a real woman? They got to be a shrewd individual. So that vagina, soft whispers, and all that to you ain't gonna amount to nothing once it collapses and fall inside out. You gotta have a lady with a sharp mind that knows what she's doing and where she would like to go and be later on in life."
Okay,
Mr. D,
we done got all the guys. Any
can,
refutes?
can I say something
Go ahead.
before you get to the ladies?
Yeah.
Because all the fellas answered that way, if I was to jump on that bandwagon and go with
Mm-hmm.
society, then I would go with this route that um, in society, women lose value when they become a certain age. If they can no longer produce children, they can no longer walk on their own, or whatever the case may be, uh, whatever role she may have played in the work field or in her home, if she can no longer do those things, then maybe that's where her value diminishes at.
I'm, I'm gonna answer this before I go to the ladies. Guys, hold your your views, your refute. I'll put it in the chat because after I finish, I'm gonna go straight to the ladies. So again, I'm gonna say, based upon this question, does a woman lose value as she ages? I'm gonna say it depends on who you are, who is judging, all right? Because my mother is the person that implemented, taught me morals and values and stuff like that. So I'm taking my lead from based upon what she has shown me. All right. So wisdom comes with time. Yep, she's got that. Beauty, beauty fades. For some people, especially I'm talking about my mama. Real black don't crack. So, she still has her beauty. Um, I ain't talking about figures and all that other stuff because after a while, you push out a certain amount of children too. You gonna look a certain way. Some men ain't had no babies and they got bellies that look like they have babies and they emaciated and other things. So again, can't equate that to be the overall standing for value. But again, I think it's a level of loyalty to their family, and friends and stuff like that. And again, I value the love that, you know, women, and I'm gonna talk about the women around me, continue to show me. So my answer is no. They don't lose no value. Not if I'm the one that's doing the judging and the women around me haven't lost any value. Now, have they lost some points, some of them, on the respect level? Oh yeah, certainly. But it doesn't rule out that they've lost all that. They still have something to value. All women have something to value. And at this stage in my life, it's more of wisdom and stuff like that, and comfort and stuff like that. Because, like I said, there's gonna come a time when your body and your mind ain't gonna do what you want it to do, and you better hope you got somebody. If your mama's a good mama, that your woman is like her, because that's what you should be looking for. You should be looking for somebody that's upstanding. If your mama's upstanding, you should be looking for somebody that reflects that. You don't want somebody that's less than that. But ladies, like I said, it was a method to my madness. Let the guys go first, and now we're gonna get y'all's point of view. Excuse me. Does a woman lose value as she ages? Let's go to Tanya first.
No, she does not lose value as she ages. A woman has value no matter what. First of all, she's valued by God. He created her. As she grows in wisdom, as she grows spiritually in her walk with him, in her talk with him, as she matures and get wisdom, she's got value added to her. As she has children, she has value added to her, not points taken away from her. We all have a past, and God has forgiven all that past. So she still has value. As the children go on and she creates generation, and they create generation, that's leaving the seed, that's producing value. So I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no, she doesn't lose value, she gains value.
Let's say less. Patsy, what do you say?
I say in general, no, women do not lose value But you might lose respect depending on your actions, not so much the value. Because you can always increase your value as you age, as you gain wisdom throughout your life and experiences. What diminishes is your bad actions will lead to others not respecting you as a woman because of your bad behavior. Good behavior kind of helps influence that respect and love, and people will always want to reciprocate that love and add to your value as you get older.
Like
If
that,
that
like
makes
that. All right, let's go to Kiana.
No, nobody can make you lose your value. Who the hell is putting the price? Who's putting you in some kind of value category? No, absolutely not. As you get older, you get wiser. Some people are young, wise, but if we were only here to, I guess, reproduce, why, like animals or ants and stuff, why don't we just die right after? It doesn't happen because we pass wisdom down, we oversee things, we still organize things. So no, no one can ever make me lose value because I don't know who you are to even tell me what my value is.
And can I just add to that, to even have a question like that, to say that does a woman lose value as she grows older is equating us as if we're property.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to number 5. But before we do, let's go to Itzma. Itzma, do women lose value as they age?
The panel answered it basically. Um, you know, that you value yourself, um, and basically, you teach others how to value you. Um, there is, I'm gonna say this part. I could understand why some people would fix their mouth to say that some women would probably lose value because some women be stuck. They don't grow. Um, they just be stuck on ignorance. They can't teach, they can't lead. Those are the type of women that lose value.
Said, well said. Itzma, keep your mic on. We're going to go to you first with question number 5. Um, Question number 5. Do you respect your mother as well as other women, both in your family and your community?
I respect my mother, and I do respect women in my community, but it all just depends. It's how you put it out. And that's with everyone, you know? Of course, I'm going to respect my mother. She's the one that inbuilt everything in me, my morals, the love. She took out time to just give me all the tools, all the necessary tools that I obtained to be able to, deal with this here life. But then you got ignorant people. So, you know, I deal with people accordingly. I give out respect accordingly how people give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Patsy, what's your perspective?
Yeah, I agree with Dietzman. I respected my mother, and I always will, regardless. And I act accordingly, on how people treat me with. I'll treat them with the same respect that they give me. But I've always been taught, like, give others the same respect and do unto others that I would want them to do to me. But if you come out sideways and disrespect me, it's done. I'm sorry, but you know what? I'm through with giving you respect because you dissed me. You know? And then I'll move on from that person and leave them in the dust. But in general, I will respect the women in my community. I will always give props and respect to my mother, no matter how long she has been passed away. That was my mother. She raised me. She gave birth to me. Um, she taught me good qualities of life and how to treat others, and not only how to treat others, but how to treat myself and expect certain treatments to me from others.
Like it. Tanya, what do you say?
I'm gonna say yes. I respect I respect my elders, the women in my life, and the women in my community. But I'm also gonna give return how it's given, like Itama said. You show me respect, I'm showing you respect.
Huh? All right, Duchess, let's get your perspective.
Can you repeat the question? I heard it, but I want to make sure I answer correctly.
No worries. Do you respect your mother as well as other women in both your family and community?
Yes, I respect my mother and I respect the women in my family. In my community, I respect those who deserve and give respect, and those who don't get respect.
Let's get the gentleman's perspective. Timmy, do you respect your mother as well as the other women in your family and community?
Of course. And I respect all my the women in my family. I have the utmost respect for all of them. And as far as women in the community, I respect those who respect themselves, because if you don't respect yourself, then you're not going to respect nobody else.
Bird, what do you say?
I want to say, I think back then, I mean, I was a child when my mom passed, understand, like 12 years old. Didn't have a long time really. I think it was more fear based opposed to respect back then, because I was a little out of order and out of line and a little bit mixed up in the brain. But I respect the women in my community. I don't really have any women in my family. But at the end of the day, if I'm not respected by someone, then I just move on. I mean, if you don't matter to me, you don't matter. I'm out. I don't want to. I'm not gonna fight and call you bitches. And when you get that hood rat that wants to make a scene somewhere, let me just exit stage left. I don't want no problems. you're the problem. So I'm out. My journey for peace in life is quite dominant right now.
Well said, well said. Gregory, what do you say?
Of course. I like Uncle T's answer. In the community, I respect those that respect themselves because nowadays in society right now, it's a whole lot of craziness going on. You got these girls talking about they eating ass and getting peed on. I can't respect that.
Okay. Sean?
Um, at this big age, yes, I have a different perspective on the level of respect that I have for women. I've always respected my mother. I've always respected my sisters and those within my family. But the way that I've treated former girlfriends was not respectable. But as years gone on and I matured in life, I have a better relationship with all of them. And so I can respect, I can say I can truly respect women as a whole and not be selective in who I respect and don't respect.
Okay. Robert, what do you say?
I truly say I'm always going to have respect for my moms. So there's no doubt in your mind. I respect that lady. I do respect the following ladies in the family that truly, truly is a lady. And you have to have the qualifications and values of that word, let alone. Now, moving forward to the people in the community, as others said, it's like a flip side hand. You truly respect those that respect themselves. On the flip side of that hand, how could you truly respect a person if they don't respect themselves? So, in return, or just basic, they will only get the benefit of a doubt, a possibility of change.
Question number 6. Do you seek the counsel of the matriarch when making both life-defining and altering decisions? Timmy.
Sometimes I just go through trials and tribulations, through the learning process. That's all. You learn from mistakes. You don't make those same mistakes over and over.
Okay. Robert?
Who else do I call? Who is best to deal with a crisis? Dealing with your emotions, your mental, and maybe your well being. Yes.
Okay. Bert?
Yep. There is no matriarch for me to go to. There is no. I'll just leave it there.
Okay. Sean?
Sorry, repeat the question one more time, please.
Do you seek the counsel of the matriarch when making life-defining and altering decisions?
Seeking counsel, never counsel, always her prayers. Always her prayers.
Okay.
I think as men, we tend to move on impulse sometimes. But in like Uncle T said, I liked his answers tonight. Uncle T is on point. We learn from our mistakes, and sometimes you definitely seek counsel when you're making decisions. And you should have your mother's voice in your head if you have a conscience.
Okay. Um, let's go to Patsy.
Since I cannot physically seek my mother's counsel, I can always go back to her teachings because just like Gregory said, her voice and her teachings and her TLC while she was raising me and even in my early adulthood um will always guide me to a good decision.
Oh, Patsy, heal me, heal me.
Yes.
Tanya?
I'm gonna have to agree with Patsy because I don't have my mom here, so I have to resort back to um what what she would say concerning the what I'm seeking counsel for. What would be her response, as well as my spiritual mother, who is no longer here. Who, if she was here, she would be the first person I call to seek guidance from. So her voice is in my ear, telling me, giving me advice. So I have to agree with Patsy on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Itima, what do you say?
So my counsel comes from above. Most of the time, he's the one I speak to about certain stuff. And yes, I do talk to my mother about certain stuff, but everything doesn't need to be put in the atmosphere. Um, so I'd rather talk to God mentally about certain stuff. So yeah, I do. My counsel is God, and yeah, I go to my mother about certain things. And I learned through life and through the things that I've been through that everything does not need to be put in the atmosphere.
Love it, love it. Duchess, what do you say?
The question is, do you go to your mother for advice for, what was it, life?
Do you seek counsel from the matriarch when making life-defining, altering decisions?
No, I do not. I mean, have I ever? No, I don't think. I've always been an independent person. I mean, I have in the past maybe asked for advice or guidance, perhaps, but no.
I'm going to answer this question. So, based upon the definition of matriarch, it's not just your mother. So, it's other dominant, influencing women within your family and community. Yes, I have sought counsel from several different matriarchs, um, people from church, people in my family, people in my extended family. I get it where I can get it. But yeah, I've sought it. I went looking for it. I found it, and I continue to seek it when needed. I mean, it's a it's essential to my development. I mean, like I said, as we continue to morph and evolve into our this grown and sexy stage of life, um, you know, I want a better understanding of self, but I also want a better understanding of those that I deal with. Um, and especially women, because at the end of the day, all things lead back to them, even if we don't want them to, they do. That's my personal feelings. That's how what I say. All right, and that is a good segue to the next question. Kiana, turn your mic back on. We're going to start with you. Are women still the backbone of family and community?
Yes, they are. And I don't know who said Angela Bassett is in her 70s. She's only 66 years old. Don't be aging that woman. Um, yes, we are the backbone. We're the organizers. We're the gatekeepers, timekeepers. Yes, the answer is yes.
All right. Patsy?
Yes, the women are the backbones because in the community, in the home, and because they do organize. Um, and usually they're the last ones to go to bed and the first one to get up because as they say oh, I'm getting ready to go to bed, they're doing like 20 other things to prepare for the morning before they actually head to their bedroom.
Wow.
And like their husbands, when they say they're going to bed, that's what they doing. The mother or the wife or the woman of the house will do
Has
little
left the
odd
meeting.
things just to make sure stuff is ready for the morning time. Lunches, getting stuff for the breakfast, making sure stuff's out so that way you get in that kitchen or you get in your backpack to go to school or to go to work, it's already there and people take for granted all the little details
He has joined the
that a
meeting.
woman pays attention to and does.
Okay, well said. Itzema, same question.
What was it? I'm sorry, I walked away.
Are women still the backbone of the family and community?
Yes, we are. Yes, they are.
Okay. Tanya, what do you say?
I'm gonna say yes, and I'm gonna also say I'm gonna have to head out early tonight. I have a prayer line I need to log into.
Okay, beloved, keep us all in your prayers.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you for your participation.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
All right,
Good
so
night.
we are going to move on to the gentleman. Gentlemen, turn your mic on. Timmy, we're going to go to you first.
Tanya has left the meeting.
Are women still the backbone of family and community?
Of course, but don't forget the men now, because there are men that's playing the role as the mother and the father, because the mother's not there or she done passed on. So you just you got to remember the
Has left
men
the meeting.
are backbones as well.
Okay, but again, let's give the ladies their flowers tonight. Let's keep it about the ladies. The men are going to get theirs on a later date. You got more to add?
Oh no, that's it.
Okay. Gregory, what do you say?
Earlier, I said that they was the head. The backbone is connected to the head and with a body. So they in command. So they're still the backbone. It works that way. A lot of things, the power of the P, you that's not that's all I had to say.
All right, remember we talking about the matriarchs, and these are respectable women. Stop talking about those hood rats. Um, I'm sorry, hood rats, but y'all got some maturing to do.
But the rats need love too.
They do. Bird
Oh.
said everybody needs a hug. We're gonna get them one too, so they can go ahead and mature
No,
and
Uncle
become
D, I
some
didn't mean it
successful
like that.
women.
And my phone muted. I couldn't unmute and say
I
it.
know what you was leading up to, and that's why I said
I was saying for men, they control a lot of decisions that we make, as them being the spine and the head.
we heard
So
that part.
that's why I was saying that. And it's coming from that. It stems from that, the love of a woman.
Okay. Bird.
Well, I definitely want to believe you said the respectable population of women definitely are the backbone of the household, of the family, of the community. I'm going to be a little bit more reluctant to say that because these kids out in these communities are out of control. And that may have a lot to do with some of these parents out here. So um, I'm confused. Community, no. Household, I'm going to say a respectable household, yes.
Okay. Robbie, what do you say?
I'm gonna the same answer I answered with earlier. I believe women to be the root of their community. And to finish that answer earlier was they seek to carry out the vision of the well-being. You hear that? The well-being of the future generations to come. So if you know what the word well-being means, that's house raising, politics, community, learning how to survive in society, make money, all that. Just believing they are teaching those things is up to you to grasp.
Sean?
Um, yes, I believe the women are the backbone of family and community. Um, because without a mother's love, this world would probably be way worse than what it actually is.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna answer this one too. Yes, I do believe that women are the backbone of society as a whole. That's family and community. Um, but there are some barriers, that some walls that have been erected, and they haven't found their way. Um, they haven't found a way around these walls yet. They haven't been able to penetrate some of these barriers, these walls that have been erected. But give them time, just like everything else that a woman does. Give them time, and they will perfect it, and then they will present it to the world as a whole, and then people will do with it as they choose to do with it. But yeah, they do a lot, and there are some knuckleheads out here that are in desperate need of direction. And I don't think it's the fault of the matriarchs, because they're doing the best they can to try to reach these individuals. But again, both these children and their parents have gone astray. They've turned away from the uh the the calming influence of the matriarch, the direction that she offers. So they're not looking to them. So that's the reason why they're out here running around just acting wild, and they're lost. But that's another conversation. All right. Let's go to the next question. Question number 8. We're gonna go to the ladies first. Um, okay. Question number 8. According to research in the game of chess, the queen is considered to be the most powerful piece on the playing board. But is this plausible in modern society? Patsy, what do you say?
Um, Women can be pretty valuable in the community and in the household. Um, Depending on who you are, you will not let anyone diminish yourself.
Itima, what do you say? The queen is the most powerful piece on the playing board in the game of chess. But does that ring true in society, today's society?
Who's that for?
Itima.
Um, yeah, all depends how the woman carries herself, how they, you know what I mean? how she's basically how she presents herself and how and the services that she put out.
Duchess, what do you say?
I'm sorry, do you mind repeating the question?
Yes. According to research in the game of chess, the queen is considered to be the most powerful piece on the playing board. Is this plausible in modern society?
It is plausible, but in this modern society, right now they're trying to put women back in the back almost 50, 70 years. So I don't know. I mean, we're quote unquote in the media, in social media, it's looked at that we are the lowest and not looked at as we should be either uh, equal or even regarded as respectable. So it's possible. Right now, I'm saying it's iffy on what people's thoughts are in that category of us being regarded as queens and important.
So we are going to go to the gentleman. Gentlemen, same questions. Timmy, we're going to start with you. According to research in the game of chess, the queen is considered to be the most powerful piece on the playing board. Is that believable as where we're talking about today's society?
Yeah, you can say life is like chess. It's how you strategize and move across the land. And you could say it could be part of a bunch of, but that would be the main one because it has the king and queen in there.
Okay. Gregory, what do you say? Bird, what do you say?
It just unmuted, Uncle D. So I was gonna say what I just say, God. The power of the PUSSY once again, and I'm not saying that on some creep stuff. I'm saying it like a feminist because they could use it's going on. You get what I'm saying? So it's a powerful thing. It moves every man. Either you got, like they say, it's a powerful woman either in front of you or behind you. So she has something to do with it.
Bird, what do you say?
I think as far as power in the home, they are. I think power in society, they are not. As far as, of a hierarchy demand of women in powerful positions running powerful companies, that's not happening. That's happening more at home with the family. I would agree.
Okay. Robert, what do you say?
I'm gonna try to answer it and make sense. In the game of chess, although the queen might seem to be a powerful piece, yes, she just might be. But the most important object on that board of chess is the king. Everything moves around it for a reason. In life, men take that same approach, do not want to be left out. So any chance a queen could rise, a very truly shrewd woman could really rise. They push them down, step on them in the worst way, so they will never have a chance to excel and be that true queen and make everything move around them.
Sean, what do you say?
I say they are powerful. That's why they're so feared and so attacked.
Hmm, okay. Like that. Like that. Like these answers, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we are going to go to question number 9. All right, Patsy, we're going to start with you. Does feminism represent any threat to the long-standing system known as patriarchy?
It's how you look at it. I don't think feminism or being a good group of women, especially in the home, I don't think it's going to take over or diminish the patriarch. If you're working together as a team, neither one should overshadow the other. If that makes sense.
Well said, well said. Itima, what do you say? Does feminism represent any type of threat to uh, basically the current administration, um, which is patriarchy?
Patsy couldn't have said it better. You know, it's just like that. And they work as a unit. It's just gone. It's unbeatable. And that's what everything. And that's how it's supposed to be, but that's why we in trouble. Because people always seem to work against each other instead of working with each other.
Well said, ladies. Duchess, let's get your perspective.
When women excel, everyone excels. So if it goes against the patriarchy for to be seen as an equal or valuable person, so yeah, that flies in the face. Feminism flies in the face of that. But again, if we're equal and we're both working towards a goal, we would get there faster than you fighting with me.
Yeah, I like this. I like this. Bird, same question.
Can you repeat it?
Yes, I can. Does feminism represent any threat to the long-standing system known as patriarchy?
I don't know. You might have to break that down for me.
Current administration, presidential administration.
Oh, I I think feminism will play a part later, but not right now.
Okay. All right, Timmy, same question.
Well, I don't believe that it does. It should be on your ability.
All right, let's go to we're going to go to Robert.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes, I can. Does feminism represent any threat to the long-standing system known as patriarchy?
That's what the problem is again. Men has to stop worrying about women standing up for their rights, their entitlement, respect. Give them a chance to shine, blossom. I don't think if a man puts his personal machoism to the side, want to be the leader at all times, know what everything is right or wrong, then it shouldn't bother.
Sean, what do you say?
I know what the question was. Was there a part in there where you said a threat to this modern day administration? Did you say
Patriarchy.
that?
Yes, you got it.
Okay. So a threat to this administration? Not at all. Because as long as this administration keeps is in existence and it keeps functioning the way that they are, and the slogan will always be "Make America Great." It's going to go back to the way that they want it to be, to where the women were last on the totem pole, just a smidgen above us colored folks.
Okay. Gregory, what do you say?
Um, I never heard 45, 47 say anything like that, but I don't think there's any type of threat to the current administration, if that was the question. But I was gonna say, for a long time, the people that the United States had to answer to was under a queen. There wasn't no king over there. So it's hard to look at it that way, any which way, knowing that we had to answer to the crown. Almost the whole goddamn world had to answer to the crown.
Okay. Now stay right there. Ladies, hold tight because you're going to get the last word. Gregory, stay right there. I'm going to give you the last question. Question number 10. Is it possible for America to maintain their dominance under a matriarchal system, meaning women ruling?
Women ruling or a woman president? We can go under a woman president, but
I'm
when you
not,
start saying ruling, you're making me think of Amazon stories where all the men get killed. They castrate you. Or either that or they're using you to reproduce. You want to be one of those people on a sex farm?
Yes. Depends on who you're talking to. Sounds like a great party. All right, let's go to Bird. Bird, what do you say?
Absolutely not. And I say that absolutely not because the way other countries and other rulers and other whatever's dictators they see as women. So I don't see that happening. No.
Yeah, Putin was laughing at the fact that Camilla was almost our president.
Robert, what do you say?
Have you ever heard of the word kingdom? Now, say queendom. Let a woman get a chance to lead. Don't be so threatened by a great possibility. You ain't let it get a chance yet. I say yes, they can do well. I don't know the whatever's in the White House right now is going to be threatened by that. They don't really care.
Okay. All right, ladies, are you ready? We're gonna go to Patsy first. Patsy?
Um, we can succeed if other people are accepting to a matriarch in this country. As women, we can actually um word things to the point where a lot of times we can convince them a man to run the house or the White House and make it seem like it's their idea or get a good point across to how certain things should be done in the White House or any house. So that way when they go back to these different meetings, they could present what they discuss with their wife behind closed doors. So you may not always know what was it was her thoughts on what's being presented, but it is being a matriarch behind closed doors.
Like it. Okay, Itzma, same question. Is it possible for America to maintain its dominance under a matriarchal system?
Um, is it possible for what?
America to maintain its dominance under the rule of women.
Mm. Um, I mean, it could be possible. It happens. I mean, we already run a lot of things, so
Okay. All right, Duchess, turn your mic on.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me say this before I let Kiana answer the last question. It's often been said that a woman's place is in the kitchen and the bedroom. And you got some chauvinistic pigs that say she should be seen and not heard. But here on the Still a Man podcast and platform, I'm going to make sure the last voice that you hear, a female's voice, a female that happens to be a matriarch. And all the women on this platform are matriarchs, as far as I'm concerned. So, Duchess, is it possible for America to maintain its dominance under a matriarchal system?
Yes. And I think we would do a better job than what's going on now. And there's plenty of countries run by women all over the world. The president of Mexico is a female. The what is it? The prime minister of Barbados is a female. There's plenty of women leaders all over the world. So I believe we would do very well with the matriarchal system for this country.